School sucks. Now don't get me wrong, I believe everyone should have a general education. But when I know how to solve quadratic equations with imaginary roots graphically, and I'm not sure how that applies to life, or better yet, learned Cleopatra slept around but never heard the history of my own city, you've failed. Now I'm not trying to sound cruel, but we live in a generation that would much rather smoke a joint than show up to school, and to be honest, I'm tired of placing all the blame on them. I mean, are we just pawns in a chess game waiting to accept their fate? Could the whole point of high school simply be just to graduate? You tell us to follow our dreams, but have a plan B, and don't you see? The more you try to protect the children in this way, the more you reject the gifts they're trying to portray. See, school is a project when students never get the chance to project their abilities. Having to follow a curriculum and take required classes, while stereotypically the kid with high grades and glasses will make it into college and is more intelligent. Well, how about the student who's ingenious, inordinary, innovative, intellectual, incalculable, inquisitive, has good intentions to change the world with his passion? I believe educating him would be something along the lines of ineluctable. Take a musician, for example. See, to him, a score on a math exam will never mean as much as the score in front of him. Why waste his time trying to count and measure when he can already count each measure with just a tap of his foot? See, this is genius. Watch as the bow grazes against the instrument and his fingers pluck and pull at each string appropriately. That creates a sound that just makes his body sway. But if he's controlled by a bell that just rings, I guess you could say the school is pulling his strings. Or how about the cook with only a 7th grade reading level? If his ingredient list is not written in MLA format, I think he'll do just fine. Does his grammar matter when where you choose to dine is on the line? And I'm not talking about margin. But when it comes to margarine and butter, he actually knows the difference. He couldn't care less about the sophisticated words coming out of his mouth, but more about the food going into yours. See, this is genius. And if that doesn't fill the Hunger Games appetite, you couldn't even think the grapes of wrath might. Some brilliance is as simplistic as hitting a ball. It doesn't matter if your science grade is an atrocity, because I've never seen anyone spike a ball with so much strength, precision, and velocity. And the only elements she need know are those of speed and surprise, but to her parents' eyes, sports are just a waste of time. See, this is genius. Practicing for so long, she has little time to study for chemistry. The only question remaining is, why can't you be more like your sister Emily? What's the matter? Kinda ironic though, because like life when it comes to school versus education, everything's the matter. Putting children on an assembly line that has checkpoints, where their only goal is to get us from point A to point Z, but if we only get to F, then we failed. Plus our values and gifts are locked up and jailed. And why do we take tests? To tell us we're wrong? It's a number, not my wife. There's so much more to life than a grade in a book. And what if you know of the SAT I just took? Because we all receive a number or a grade, if you will, but our answers are locked up in vaults. What's the point, to learn or the thrill? And Common Core won't solve anything, so take a chill pill. We are not here to memorize facts, but figure our future. And if the future holds taking a test to see who's the best, I want no part in that, there's a fact. Now, while I'm speaking to adults, I'm relating to the youth. I'm not pointing out your faults, but showing you the truth. Stop labeling us by standards and put us all on an even playing field. But let us choose our positions based on our passions, values, and where we can be proactive, make schooling less multiple choice and more interactive. Because maybe you're exponential at math, but that's not how he functions, because we all don't have the same mechanics. Or possibly you rock at science, but in her opinion, she'd rather not fill her head with space. We're all sculpted in a different way, all made with different values, ideas, and clay, and if during my day the only offered opportunity is continuity, I can never get the chance to say, I am genius.